Dreamland Piggery is a farming business. We're doing pig farming, we're doing maize production. We also have got an abattoir to slaughter our pigs. We have got a market, which is the top retailers here in South Africa. One of them will be Pick n Pay. We started Dreamland Piggery in 2004. As a small-scale farmer then, I was working for my husband's business. At the same time, started the piggery.
At Absa, our understanding of inclusive growth is to ensure that there is a direct link between our growth as an organization and that of the communities in which we operate. We would also like to ensure that there is a sustainable economic development that benefits everybody in the continent and not just the corporate players.
In 2010, I happened to attend one of the business seminar at Pick n Pay, and there I came across one of the Absa enterprise development management, whereby they were also there on the seminar. They had some product for the businesses, of which I found myself falling into that, of which they were advertising some product that were flexible to us as businesses. As you know, most of us as small businesses, we normally lack securities when we want funding. But with Absa, they normally have this tailored programs that they can help fund the small businesses.
For Absa, inclusive growth is a critical element in support of the South African economy and that of the continent, because it ensures that there is broader economic participation that is sustainable, and all corporates need to really step up to ensure that this is part of their strategy, because the more participation you can get across the economy, the better will the prosperity be. And of course, it will be some sort of eradicating a lot of the ills that we're currently facing in our country.
When I started purchasing the farm, I used Absa loan. That's where I started working with Absa, working very closely, especially with the enterprise development arm, whereby there's this flexibility. They're also willing to develop. They're also willing to take us to maybe networking when they've got business networkings, and that's how I managed to develop this business.
Our enterprise development programs have reached a total of just over 100,000 SMEs in the past 7 years. We have also contributed significantly in terms of allowing them into our supply chain to participate more meaningfully. In the last 2 years, we have spent over 220 million on empowering SMEs within our own supply chain. We also have raised over 2.5 billion with corporates that actually want to see supply development and transformation in their corporate value chains. This makes it a very important tool that we have actually realized. And in future, we hope to be able to grow this quite substantially so that we can be able to reach more SMEs, include more of those SMEs into corporate value chains, and thus increase economic participation across the country and of course the continent.
My business benefited a lot from Absa. I mean, alone for being a small-scale farmer, I then had only 50 sow unit, and I employed only 4 people. Upon purchasing this farm through Absa loan, I am now able to increase my income. At the same time, I've created more jobs, and Absa's relationship over these years that I've worked with, they have helped us a lot in developing the business.
I think the SMME sector is a very vibrant sector, and we've also learned quite a lot in terms of our engagement with SMEs. For example, whenever we do mentoring, coaching, support for them, it's important to have our executive coaches and mentors have previous or prior business experience, because It is essential for the SMEs to understand that whoever is facilitating that intervention actually has business experience. Now, this is a fundamental shift from how we used to do it in the past. And this change was actually brought about by our engagement with SMEs who are saying, give us people who understand business to be able to help us get to the next level. The other challenge that SMEs face is actually access to markets. If you look at the fact that corporate value chains have been essentially closed out to the majority of SMEs in the economy, you find that our interventions have actually led to an opening up of those supply chain opportunities, and of course driven by the latest iteration of the BBBE Act. This creates quite an opportunity for our SMEs, and it actually creates a very sustainable business model, because that is one of the aspects of our economy that is largely untransformed. What we've also learned in terms of engaging with our SMEs is the fact that they might have a lot of passion in terms of what they want to achieve, but they would have certain skills that actually can enhance their offerings. Particularly if you look at strategy development, financial management, and compliance, particularly in sectors like mining and the environmental impact that they have.
One of the challenges of the SMEs is skill. So as small business, we need mentorship for people that knows the industry or the business that you are running. It can be locally, it can be internationally, whatever that you can get as a mentor, you can grab that. The market is also a very big element. Myself to have gone in this big business, I also had to secure a market first with Pick n Pay, and that gave me an oomph and the energy to go bigger and bigger, because then I know that my market was secured.
We would like to encourage our fellow corporates to be much more proactive in driving the inclusive growth agenda, because prosperity, when enjoyed by only a few, creates instability in the economy and society. And we believe that our approach, by getting to understand what are the challenges that SMEs face, we are able to respond in a manner that helps to go a long way in addressing the economic inequality, unemployment, poverty, and all the other social ills that it brings about.
A lot of SMEs are struggling to get the business up, especially on the funding side. So I found that I've learned that through my journey, that if you have got a skill and you've got the product and you've got the market, and that can take you into getting funding.
Our support for SMMEs beyond our own sector is driven by the fact that we operate in various industries and sectors across the South African economy, from agriculture, which includes agro-processing, to manufacturing, mining, ICT. And thus, like somebody said, as long as there is not a substitution for food, there'll always be a big need to develop agriculture. Now, pork products are among some of the most nutritious and quite affordable products. And it was a pleasure for us to be able to develop a woman farmer by the name of Anna Posa to develop her piggery business to grow from strength to strength. In fact, through one of our partnerships, she's currently exploring markets in the USA. And this for us tells us that our inclusive growth agenda is definitely delivering on the desired results.
My message to Absa is that they are doing a very good job by developing us, by supporting us, and I encourage them to support more women and youth that are that are starting businesses, because the funding is the most important element in the business.